Hi students, today I will be out, so I just wanted to go through the lesson for today. We're going to be doing our informative essay writer celebration now that all the summatives are done and grades are pretty much done and the reassessments are done. I just wanted to take some time to make sure we celebrated your writing, and we're going to be doing our informative writer celebration a little different since I'm not here today. But we're really going to be focusing on this jot thought of why is positive specific feedback important? And we've talked about this a few times. So let's just go through, and we're not doing carpet time, of course. So today we're doing our writer celebration. Homework is still Guyver, don't forget. Later this week, so tomorrow, we'll wrap up narrative nonfiction, and then next week we start argumentative writing. So I was just mentioning that it's important to give positive specific feedback for a few reasons, right? We want to make sure that when we give a compliment to someone, it usually encourages them to repeat the behavior. So we want to make sure that authors know what they are doing well, which skills they're doing well, so that they can be sure to repeat those skills or continue to practice those skills in their future writing. But also it helps you to be identifying skills use so that you can, if you see a good example, you can try it for yourself. So it helps you as the reader, but also helps the writers as well. So when we're giving compliments, we want to make sure it's positive, right? Like the feedback is positive, because at this point we're done with these essays. We're not revising or reassessing anymore. We just want to point out the good things that our classmates have done with their informative essay. We want to make sure it's specific. So instead of saying, oh, I liked it, or this is good, be really specific. Give an example from the essay and show that you understand mastery of the mini lesson skill. It really helped me to have the anchor charts open for the skill that I was giving a compliment on, so that I could show that mastery. So instead of saying, I liked it, or this is good, you might say something like this. I love how you started with a lead describing the bullying scenario and how it affected the victim so harshly. I felt like I was in the victim's shoes and it made me want to keep reading. So here I'm showing that I was reading closely, I could identify their lead, but also I talked about how it made me want to keep reading, which is the purpose of a lead. So please make sure you're doing both and showing your author, that you're closely reading their work and that you're giving specific positive feedback. Here are some sentence starters which may help you. If you want to use them, feel free to. Okay, here are the mini lesson skill choices that you can complement today. First, we have author's purpose to inform, which was the whole point of this essay, right? It was to teach the audience about factual information for whichever whichever issue you chose. So be sure to give specific examples on how they did a good job teaching, and refer back to this anchor chart. Another skill we worked on was a lead to engage the reader right in the beginning of the essay. I changed up the anchor chart, but it's the same content. So if you can identify whether they did a funnel or a drama or shocking fact or quotation or a turnabout, they should have done 2 if you're in an honors class or 1 if you're in an advanced class. Yes, so if you can identify the lead technique they used and named it, hey, I really like the drama that you chose, and help us understand why, how they did such a good job, use that text evidence from their essay, that will be helpful for the author to know what they did well, and maybe they would repeat that type of lead. And also shows me that you understand what a lead technique is. All right, next, relevant evidence. This is really important, right? Because when we're teaching, we need to make sure that we have relevant evidence that's linked to the subtopics and the thesis that shows us, or that teaches us a little bit more about the topic. So you could identify relevant evidence and how it helped you learn. Same thing with explaining the evidence. Maybe they have good evidence, but then their explanations are amazing and they really do a good job efficiently teaching you about the topic. So you could talk about how they maybe answered these questions in a way that helped you to understand the material better. again, use that text evidence from the essay. Closing sentence tips. If your writer ended their essay in a really powerful way, that means they probably used one of these closing sentence tips. So you could identify which one it is. I really liked how you challenged the reader to make a change because it inspired me to make a change, right? So be specific. Tell us which closing sentence tip it was, give us a specific example of it from the essay, and then talk about how it, was powerful for you. And then you could also choose one of the other skills from the anchor charts. These 5 or 6 were just the big ones, but you could choose any of the other ones. Just make sure you identify which one you're going to focus on. Okay? So where are we completing our Writer's Celebration compliments? So the first thing you're going to do is get this sheet of paper. It will probably be on the blue table, or the sub will give it to you. And you're going to also open up this document. Alright, so this document, in column A, you'll find your name. In column B, you'll see who you're leaving feedback for. And in column C, you'll see who needs access to your essay so that they can give you compliments. So first things first, you're going to identify your name. I'm just going to use Brooks as an example. So Brooks is going to leave feedback for Jake and Miles. On his sheet, he is going to write Jake and Miles next to in the partner name section there. Then he's going to share his essay with Mira and Charlie D. Okay, so please make sure you follow these steps so that your partner is able to give you feedback, and also so you're able to give feedback. So after you put your partner's name, this whole column belongs to compliments that you're giving for this person. This column will be compliments for this person. So for skill number 1, you get to choose any one of these. If you choose choice from anchor charts, in the space below, just write down which skill it is. And you're going to check off one. Let's say you do leads first, and here you're going to give a compliment. So be sure to include text evidence. Be sure to show that you understand what a lead is. Let's say for the second one, you want to do explaining the evidence. Totally fine. Check off explaining the evidence. Again, use text evidence, etc. Okay? And then you're going to repeat for your second partner. Be sure to give 2 different skills. Compliments, again, only positive and specific feedback, please. On the bottom of the form, I know it doesn't show this, it says other positive comments. These don't have to be skills-based, and it doesn't have to have like text evidence unless you want to. That's totally fine. What I'm going to end up doing with this is I'm going to check your work and see if you understood the 2 skills that you chose. But I'm actually just going to cut the paper in half after I check, and then give it to the person, to the author, so that they could see what they did well. Okay? Alright, so what are you doing? You're going to find your name and student feedback partners. You're going to write your names on the sheet next to partner 1 and partner 2. You're going to share your writing piece with the students in column C. You're going to check your email for your partner's work and open both of their essays. Then you're going to complete this Writer's Celebration form using 2 specific skills compliments per partner, right? Like you have to fill out 1 compliment here, another compliment here, and then for the second person, 1 compliment here and another compliment here. So you'll have done 4 total. Please submit this to your in-bin. Block 1 is the top shelf, block 5 is the middle shelf, and block 7 is the bottom shelf. Then complete 1 iReady lesson. Please do the teacher assigned lessons unless you don't have any, and then you could do the MyPath lessons. This does not mean iReady games. You should be doing an iReady lesson. These are in preparation for next week when we start our argumentative unit. And then you could read your guide bar. Okay? If you don't have your guide bar in class, you should continue to do iReady lessons. I hope this helps, and I will share this with you in your email as well, and also in Canvas. Have a great day.